Hey everybody, class is in session. This is your host Luis, and today we're taking a look at the green support that's coming out in the Battle Evolution booster box. Thank you guys again so much for joining us today. I hope you guys are excited for this Battle Evolution booster box that's coming out in about 2 weeks and some change. If you guys are not ready for the pre-release, get ready. If you haven't gone ahead and pre-order some boxes, go ahead and do that too. They're getting really expensive. They were about $80. I think they're looking about $150, $160 at this point. We're not going to take a look at every single green card that's coming out in the next battle booster set or whatever it is. We're just going to take a look at the majority of the Tien support and the stuff that you can use from the old sets to be able to play with, and the OG Broly support. That's all we're just going to take a look at today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump right into it. We're taking a look at Tien Shinhan. This is the first Tien leader that I can think of. If you guys can think of anything, just let me know down in the comments. This is just generic green leader, and I think it's really interesting. His auto is when this card attacks, you draw one card, then you add up to one card from your life to your hand. The optional Self-Awakening is great. That's what makes a lot of leaders really good. And activate main, you get to add up to one Chiatsu card with 5k power or less from your deck to your hand. Shuffle your deck, and then you get to negate this skill for the rest of the game. Alright, so that's not an option. So it does suck a little bit, but it does help you kind of think about what you can put back in your deck. So if you drew 3 Chiatsu off your first hand, you can mulligan those 3 right back because you're going to get those anyhow. Okay, and you have a couple options you can look at. I think there's a total of 3 options, including the new card that's coming out. And you can awaken when your life is at 4 or less. And when you awaken, you're able to play 3 multi-form tokens to your battle area. Alright, so all 3 of these multi-tokens have 10k power and 0 combo and 5k combo power. So you're able to actually combo these out. And since they don't have an energy specification, your opponent can't target it with any skill that says, oh, kill anything with energy cost of 4 or 3, 2 or less, or whatever the case is. Then you also get to switch up to one of your energies back to active mode, and then you flip this guy over. We're going to go ahead and flip this Tien over, and this is what he does on his backside. So when this card attacks, you draw one card, and this card gets an extra 5k power for the battle. So you swing, draw a card, he's a 20k beat stick basically. If you have a total of 3 Tien Shinhan cards and or multi-form tokens in play in your battle area, when this card swings, you choose up to one of your battle cards with energy cost of 4 or less, and you KO it, and this card gains critical for the turn. Guys, one of the biggest reasons I love green so much is because it just has inherent removal, and this kind of just goes over that. So you're swinging 20k, draw a card, critical, and you get to kill something on your opponent's side of the board. And this isn't the only card in the deck that gets a chance to do that. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the Unison that's basically built for it. It's Launch. It goes hand in hand with the show. Launch used to date Tien, or I think they're still dating. I wouldn't be able to tell you. But Launch the wild one, okay? So this Unison is not leader locked, okay? It's not leader locked to Tien either. So you activate main, you tap 2 energies. If your leader card is a heroine card, you play this card from your hand with 2 markers on it. So the new Bulma card, or I think there's a couple other heroine leaders that are out. But see, it's not just locked to playing them with that specific type of leader. It's not locked to being played in heroine decks. You can also play this in any deck that has a world tournament leader. Its activate main is a +1. You look at the top 5 cards of your deck and you add 1 world tournament or heroine card from among them to your hand, and then you shuffle the deck. This is just free search, okay? Free search, really nice. Typically, you got to tap that 1 energy, you know? You tap an energy, and then you tap that 1 energy, and then you have to find the card that you're looking for after you play a card in order to search. And that card can be interacted with, but this is a Unison, and you can't interact with it. As -1, you choose any number of your opponent's battle cards whose total energy add up to 3 or less, and you KO them. Really good as well. We got Son Goku, the long-awaited rematch. So Son Goku here, I don't know if you guys remember any of the old World Tournament cards, but basically you can put them side by side with one another, and the 2 cards would make 1 full artwork card. And this Son Goku, the long-awaited rematch, is one of those cards. I get that Goku is, you know, the main character in the whole show, but it's starting to seem to me like they're just going to find a way to sprinkle Goku into all of these archetypes, all of these decks, everything that you can think of. But anyhow, he has unique and barrier, so he can't be interacted with the counterplays for green, okay? And he also can't be targeted by anything your opponent has that targets. Permanent, if your opponent has 3 or more energy and you have a Tien Shinhan, the long-awaited rematch, we're going to take a look at that in a little bit, in play in your battle area, this card gets 10k power and triple strike. 25k triple strike beat stick. Really, really good. And you don't have to hard cast him for 4 energy. Auto, you tap 1 specified green. If all your energy is green and you have a green battle card in play, you play this card from your hand, and then you can add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. Okay, so these potential or optional self-awakeners are all over this deck, which makes it really, really nice. So a +1 to your hand if your opponent just doesn't want to swing at you, or if you're struggling to awaken because your opponent left you at 5 last turn, this right here is the answer for that. We're also going to take a look at the Tien Shinhan, the long-awaited rematch. This guy has deflect and double strike, so he's going to hit the board. Okay, he doesn't have barrier, so the charismatic villain can hit him, but he does have deflect, so more likely than not, more times than not, he's going to be able to hit the board. And this card can't be played from any area by skills other than his own. So there is a way to cheat this guy out, okay? You can definitely cheat this man's out, but you can only cheat him out with his own skill. Alright, when this card is played, choose all your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 5 or less and KO them. So you're just getting rid of all those blockers. It sounds to me like this is, and you guys let me know what you think down below. It sounds to me like they're really trying to counter the red Raditz leader that's coming out that just floods the boards with these 1-drop blockers, and then you can just kill them with this card right here. Because it does choose all of the cards your opponent has, so it won't go around barrier, but it chooses them all, which is really, really nice. Next, we're going to take a look at this Chiatu Unwanted Reunion. All right, this is the one that you're probably going to add to yourself more times than not. And we're going to deviate from this list in a little bit right here because of this Chiatu. So Chiatu Unwanted Reunion, all right, so this is a 1 energy green Chiatu right here, and he's got blocker. His auto is if your leader card is green, a green Tien Shinhan card. When this card is KO'd, you add up to 1 card from your life to your hand, and then play up to 1 green Tien Shinhan card with an energy cost of 3 from your deck. Then you shuffle your deck. The cards you play with this skill cannot attack until the end of next turn. Alright? So this is how you're going to get your 3-drop out really, really early. And the rest of you guys that have already looked at all the cards that are coming in the set, you're just scratching your heads and you're thinking to yourself, what 3-drop? It's not coming in this box. Well, there is a 3-drop that you can play, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. We're going to go to a different page right here. And again, the 3-drop that you're typically going to want to play is this Tien Shinhan Trading Moves. There is one more that has a 10k battle power, and I can't remember his skill off the top of my head, and I probably should have put it on this list for you guys to see, but I can't remember. But this guy basically is going to be played out for free after your 1-drop Tien is blowed up, okay? He's got barrier, so he can't be interacted with unless it says ignoring barrier. And his activate main is you get to choose 1 Mercenary Tau trading moves in your battle area and KO it. If your leader card is Green World Tournament, switch this card to active mode, and for the duration of the turn, this card gains an extra 5k power and double strike. And then because double strike was new when this card came out, it has a little description of what double strike is. So your 1-drop Chiatu gets clapped, and then you get to play this guy for free. The downside is that you will not be able to swing with him after he's been played for 1 turn. So obviously, more likely than not, you're going to play him during your opponent's turn. But because the other Chiatu says, you know, his skills are negated, you can't swing with it or whatever, then you're not allowed to swing with him. I don't think his skills are negated. I'm going to take that back, but I do know that you cannot swing with this card the turn after he's been played. We're going to take a look really quickly at this Best Buddy Chiatu. This one right here is another one that you can add to your hand with your leader skill. Let's say you already have the other Chiatu in hand and you just want to add this one instead. When you combo with this card during your turn, you choose up to 1 Tien Shinhan trading moves in your battle area and switch it back to active mode. Alright, so this potentially right here, you swing with it once, you kill a Tau, you restand it, an extra 5k double strike, swing 20 double, you combo with Best Buddy Chiatu to give it 20, you restand it, you can swing again with an extra 20 double strike. And the card that you're going to blow up, guys, is going to be this one right here for Tien's ability. This is the Mercenary Tau trading moves, and we're going to show you how you can cheat this guy out in just a second. It's got inherent double strike with a 20k base, When you play this card, if your leader card is a green world tournament, Tien is, and Tien trading moves is in play in your battle area, your opponent chooses 3 cards from their hand and places them in their drop area. So this is also really, really crazy. This is older, okay? These 2 cards are older. So it would take you forever back in the day. You had to hard cast this man's for 3 over here, the Tien for 3, and then hard cast a turn later, the Mercenary Tau for 4. This is when games were crazy, crazy long. And you would tap 3 and then wait a turn, tap 4, play Mercenary Tau. Your opponent would have to dump 3 cards from his hand. But with this deck right here is going to be much, much quicker. And we're going to show you basically how to cheat out this Mercenary Tau. Okay, this is a new Mercenary Tau. Overflowing Confidence is coming out in the Battle Evolution booster box, and it has 1 energy. Okay, well, it costs 3 energies to play, but for 1 energy, while this guy is on board, you place this card in its owner's drop area, and when this card deals damage to an opponent by attacking, you play up to 1 green Mercenary Tau card with an energy cost of 4 from your deck with the skills negated for the turn, and then you shuffle the deck. Okay, so while as much as you would wish to be able to just play the 4-drop Tau and then make your opponent dump 3 cards from his hand, this skill would be a little broken just to be able to play him for 1 energy. So it kind of balances out a little bit, and personally, I don't think they needed to negate his skills, but that's none of my business. I'm not the creators, and I can't go back and change that. So your 4-drop Mercenary Tau comes on the board without double strike, okay, and without having the ability to dump cards out of your opponent's hand. But you will be able to have Mercenary Tau trading moves on board so that you can blow them up for your 3-drop Tien. Now, the way that you play this Mercenary Tau Overflowing with Confidence is you tap 1 green energy, and if you have a green World Tournament card in play, which you will, play this card from your hand, then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 1 or less, then KO it. Then you can't activate this activate main skill. You can't activate this card skill anymore for the rest of the turn. Not his, not another copy, or anything like that. So he comes out for 1 energy, you swing with it, you deal damage to an opponent, and then you tap another energy to play in the 4-drop. Now that you have the 4-drop on board, I'm gonna go over this really, really quickly. Now that the 4-drop's on board, you can use the 3-drop's ability to kill the 4-drop and then swing and then restand this Tien right here. Now he has 20k double strike. You swing with it, combo Best Buddy, and Best Buddy will allow him to restand and then swing again with another double strike. Alright. Now we're gonna look at one more extra card. I'm scrolling a little past these right now. One more extra card that kind of comes for this set. Personally, I don't think it's that important, okay? I don't think there's anything crazy or out of this world. But it is specifically, and I think it might be a sideboard piece if you're playing against a lot of people that like to play blocker. But this is a counter attack. You negate the attack, and if your leader card is a Green Sun Goku card or a World Tournament card, you choose up to 4 of your opponent's battle cards, and those cards can't activate blocker skills for the turn. If you have a Green Sun Goku card in play, you get to draw 1 card. So if this is something that you want to play in the Tien, it's really not a bad ability. You negate and draw. If your opponent doesn't have any blockers, you do negate and draw. So I do foresee the deck struggling just a little bit with hand size. I could be completely wrong because you are going to take a lot of life. But all it's going to take is your opponent to out aggro you. But because of dormant potential, this deck is actually quite playable and quite viable, and you could be able to do what you want to do. All right, so we're going to scroll back up right here, and we're going to go over just a few more cards really, really quickly. We're just going to go over the Broly stuff and then some of the older Broly stuff that you can use, the OG Broly, hand destruction Broly that you can use in order to make this deck a little bit more viable and playable. So a lot of people say, and I wouldn't be able to tell you because I wasn't around yet, that OG Broly would just eat lunch back in the day, okay? Now, I have been playtesting this OG Broly a lot with the newer stuff, and yeah, it does a lot. It does a lot of hand destruction, a ridiculous hand destruction. Against certain matchups, the hand destruction is overkill. It doesn't even allow your opponent to have cards in hand, which is really, really, honestly, for me, it's a lot of fun. But we're just going to jump really quickly into these 2 cards that are coming out. The first one is Broly, the Tamed Beast. This comes out for 1 energy and auto. Add 1 card from your life to your hand. When this card attacks, it gets an extra 11k power for the turn. So he'll be a 15k swing if you like to apply pressure at your opponent or unison or anything like that. And it allows you to self-awaken, which is something that Broly does need. Okay, his second auto is you tap 1 green energy. If your leader card is a mono green Broly card, when this card is in battle in your battle area, When this card in your battle area is placed in the owner's drop area by a skill or KO'd, choose up to one of your mono green Broly card with an energy cost of 4 or less in your hand and play it. Now the back side of the Broly leader, the awakened side, it says that when it swings, you and your opponent have to pitch a card and kill a card on each other's side of the board. So he doesn't pick what card you kill, but you have to pick a card to kill on your side. Now the field card says that you don't have to pitch, but you still have to kill a card on your side of the board. And this Broly Tame Beast is one of those things that you can kill, and it will allow you to play this guy right here, Broly the Swift Berserker, which is the new card. I don't foresee a lot of people playing the Tame Beast, but I do see a lot of people playing Broly the Swift Berserker for a lot of good reasons. Okay, so we're going to read his Activate main first, the bottom part. Just the bottom part really quickly. You tap 1 green energy. If your leader card is mono green and you have 3 or more energy, you may choose up to one of your mono green battle cards with an energy cost of 1 and Broly character in his name, or mono green extra card with an energy cost of 1 and the field skill, and place it in the owner's drop area. If you do, play this card from your hand. I'm sorry for that essay. It was a lot to say. But basically, you can kill the Tame Beast and play him. Alright? Or you can kill the field card and play him. If you've seen the new field card, which is kind of expensive by the way, each time that card gets killed, it comes right back onto the board. Okay, it doesn't go away. It keeps coming back. And each time it comes back, it gives you the option to take a life whether you want to or not. Alright, so you can kill the field card to play this Broly Swift Berserker for 1 energy. If you tap another green energy, when this guy right here is played, you can choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. No stipulation on the cost. As long as it doesn't have barrier, it's gone. And then if you do, you get to choose up to 1 mono green Broly card with an evolve skill in your hand and play it on top of this card. So instead of tapping 6 energy to evolve like you had to in the good old days, you can cheat out these big boss Brolys basically for 1 energy. And it's really good. We're going to take a look really quickly at what some of these cards are. First and foremost, we can play Broly the Unstoppable Horror. For some dadgum reason, this card right here has shot up in the market, and I don't understand. Personally, I don't think that that's great. Okay, but when this card evolves into this, when a card evolves into this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards in the battle area and KO that card. Now, because he's not evolving, and you guys let me know down in the comments if I'm wrong, because the card is not actually evolving, you don't get that auto skill off. You're just taking a card in your hand with evolve and putting it over him. Alright, which is not the same thing as actually resolving the tap 2 green and 1 any other color energy and evolving over the card that's on the board. Well, but it is a pretty good card. It has 15k in double strike. The second card you can take a look at is Rampaging Lifeform Bio Broly. Typically, you'd have to tap 4 energies to be able to evolve this guy, but he also has double strike and his 20k base. And again, his auto, when a card evolves into this card, your opponent chooses 2 cards from their hand and places them in the drop area. As much as you would want that to go off, because it's technically not actually evolving, you're just taking a card in your hand and playing it on top, you won't be able to resolve that effect, but it is a 20k double strike. The third option, and the most viable personally, this is the one that I use more times than not, is this one right here, Rampaging Horror. By the way, get yourself a Shadow Foil. If you want an SPR and want to spend money on SPR, by all means go get it. It's quite expensive, but it's really difficult to get. But the Rampaging Horror is a lot of fun, because when this card is played, you choose up to 2 cards from your opponent's hand at random and place them in the drop area. This is not dependent on the evolve skill like the other 2 cards were. And so this guy's just going to come out for 1 energy on top of your 4 drop, and you can automatically just pick 2 cards out of your opponent's hand and get rid of them. Tap 2 more energies or something and get rid of with the Ribrian and get another 2 cards out of their hand. So your opponent's looking at 4 cards less in their hand. Then you swing with your leader. Hopefully they have a unison, because like I said, I really like to play Resource Denial. And then your opponent has to pitch another card from their hand and then kill a card on their side of the board. That's already 5 cards in 1 turn, and all you did was tap 3 energy. Really quickly, we're going to take a look at the last Broly with an evolve skill on him. So typically this guy would come out for 3, 4, 5 energy, and it has critical and barrier. Okay, so Charismatic Villain does not work on this one. It works on the other 3, but it doesn't work on this one. Auto, when this card attacks, if your leader card is a Broly card, choose 1. If your opponent has 3 or less cards in their hand, switch this card to active mode. Okay, So that's not too bad. And the second ability you have choices. If your opponent has 4 more cards in their hand, they reveal their hand, and you choose one card from your opponent's. You choose one card from it and your opponent places it in the drop area. Sorry, fumbled my words here. So the 6-drop Broly and the 7-drop Broly are going to be your most viable options, and the most of the time people are just going to play either one or the other. Personally, like I said, I like to go with the Broly Rampaging Horror, because I play the 3-drop Unison Raditz. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it allows me to pitch a card from my hand, and it forces my opponent to pitch another card out of their hand, and then I can pick any card on board and give it critical. And typically I'll end up giving the 6-drop right here critical. So you're swinging with a 30k double strike critical after your opponent has already pitched 2 cards from their hand, and they do not get those cards from their life to their hand. They go straight into the drop. Thank you guys so much for spending some time with us today. This is all the green stuff that personally I find more interesting than not. Now, that doesn't mean that there isn't more green stuff that isn't interesting. There is the King Vegeta stuff and the Raditz stuff, and even the Android 13 Android 13 stuff that's coming out that's also really good. And you guys just let us know down in the comments if you want us to spend some time talking about those or explaining how those cards can be played or anything like that. Again, we appreciate you guys so much for joining us. We're praying for you guys always. Take care.